When the TARDIS collides with a spaceship en route to the planet Skonos, the Fourth Doctor, Romana II, and K9 soon uncover the horrific truth about its cargo. The ship is carrying young sacrifices for a powerful, horned creature called the Nimon. But why is the creature so desperate for the delivery? And what other dangers await the time travelers? All will be revealed at the center of this labyrinthine power complex on Skonos. Welcome, friends and companions. Here is Enigmatic Joker with a new live stream. Yes, yes, yes. And it goes about Doctor Who. Oh, my beloved series. Yes, yes, yes. So, on this channel, we have also fun chats about beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. I also talk about food and drinks, music, and sport. And as I was already saying, a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, the best sci-fi series ever. So this channel has actually many different names. It depends on what's the subject. And today is it um, let me think. Doctor Who channel. uh, uh, yeah. Okay, all right. So most of it, yeah, the regular name or the main name or the how you call it is random entertainment channel, and that is the reason that it is random. That is we will discuss everything that involves um, entertainment, including movies, series, books, and music. We don't do politics and religion because that are not and these are not entertainment things. And yeah, other things is that it is called Renan Entertainment Channel because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. And actually in Doctor Universe, nothing is linear. Doctor travels back and forth in time in other dimensions, in other planets, universes, whatever, multiverse. So that's the reason I'm all have non-fixed times. Sometimes regular, some, but most of the time not regular. So you need to subscribe to this channel. What time to know what time the broadcast is actually. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends what you join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via YouTube. You can put a comment on one of the videos, or you can visit me on the Discord server, Random Entertainment Channel, Tech Doctor Who. You find me very quick upon the server, very regular, and you can find me there, and you can send me a message if you're interested. So you are invited. So also feel free to invite me for your channel, your live stream and panel, because I also contribute to you. I want to network and make friends and companions. So, in summary, you are invited, and feel free to invite me. Yeah. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. Yes, that's me. That's me. That's me. And you can see my avatar is Tom Baker, and that means that we have got a fourth Doctor story today, and that is called The Horse of Nimon. Nimon, yes. So, some general info about this TV story. The Horns of Nimon was the fifth, and thanks to the cancellation of the following serial Shada, partway through production, final broadcast serial of season 17 of Doctor Who. This story marked David Brearley's final vocal participation, providing the voice of K9, as John Leeson returned to the role from the Leisure Hive onwards. Moreover, it was the final story to be broadcast in full or in part during the 1970s and first during the 1980s. That's some general info. Okay, this story has got 4 episodes, each 25 minutes. We will not dive now into the plot. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched this story yet, I highly recommend you to do that. You can decide now for yourself now to listen further or come back later. Yeah? In the meanwhile, I drink some water. You can decide, and then I will begin with part one of this story, The Horns of Nimon. Are you ready? Let's go! The glory days of the Sconan Empire are long since past, but many of its citizens and soldiers yearn for those days of control and conquest. The arrival of the mysterious horned Nimon to Skonos has brought hope of imperial restoration. The fearsome creature lives within its labyrinth power complex and has promised to rebuild the empire providing it receives a series of tributes from the Skonans and their founding arrogant leader, Soldit. This tribute is to consist of groups of youthful sacrifices from nearby planet Enet, as well as a supply of hemetusite crystals with each group. Young people have thus been abducted from Enet and transferred to the labyrinth of the Nimon, into which only Soulbeat is permitted to venture. In the final collection, however, the interstellar craft bearing the sacrifices breaks down in space. The ancient warcraft has simply worn out, and when a co-pilot overextends the engines, a control panel explodes and kills the pilot. The Doctor is in the TARDIS console room with Romana and K9, making modifications to the ship. Various controls are disconnected. Unfortunately, the area of space he has chosen to materialize the ship is perilously close to what seems to be the basis of a manufactured black hole. They are in danger of being drawn in. The Doctor extends the TARDIS door force field to a nearby spaceship, the Scullin battlecruiser, and he and Romana board the aging warship. Once aboard, the Doctor notices an abundance of radioactive hematite crystals and then soon finds a hold full of young prisoners. They are from the peaceful world of Anet, and one of them, Teka, has a seemingly misplaced faith that another prisoner, Set, can free them from their incarceration and defeat the Nimon. The co-pilot investigates the hold and there finds the Doctor and Romana among the quote weakling scum end quote. He takes the two of them at gunpoint to the bridge and forces them to help fix the stranded Sconan ship. The Doctor is suspicious about what really happened to the ship. Romana offers to repair the ship using an hematite crystal, and one is brought to her while the Doctor is permitted to return to K9 and the TARDIS to assist from there. Aboard the TARDIS, K9 informs the Doctor about the collapse of the Sconan Empire in civil war. With the Sconan craft repaired, co-pilot starts to move his ship away, stranding the TARDIS in space. With the TARDIS still not fully repaired and the gravity increasing, the Doctor and K9 face obliteration as a vast planetary body advances directly toward them. End of part one. Part 2. Using a cricket ball strategy, the Doctor bounces the TARDIS off the approaching planetoid. He then starts work on repairing the console in order to pilot the ship to Skonos. On Skonos, the Nimon is angry when Solid reports the Skonan craft with the last batch of sacrifices has not reached Skonos, as it says it will withhold the arms that will help rebuild the Skonan Empire until the ship arrives. Fortunately for Solid, once he emerges from the power complex, he hears from his guard captain Sorak that the ship has been found. The warrior ship soon arrives on Skonos as Solid leads the party of reading, being unnerved to see Romana aboard. The co-pilot lies that she is the cause of all the problems on the ship, being a pirate who stole aboard and killed the captain, and claims to have modified the ship to use hematite as fuel. Solid quickly sees through his lies when he can't explain how he carried out the modifications or even pronounce hematite correctly. And then forces the co-pilot into the Nimon power complex, where he is sure to be killed. Moments later, Romana and the Anatons are loaded up with the hematite and also sent into the maze. Shortly thereafter, the TARDIS materializes in the central square of Skonos, and the Doctor emerges. He's taken to Solid, but soon escapes and heads into the power complex to escape his pursuers. Deep in the complex, whose walls seem to shift and change, creating various patterns of progress that all lead to the Nimon, Romana finds the husks of previous Anatons, the life drained from them. The co-pilot also arrives, still pleading for his life, and when the Nimon appears to it, dispatches this desperate soldier first before turning its mighty horns on Romana and her cowering Anatons. And part 2. Part 3. Doctor arrives in the nick of time to distract Nimon and thus save Romana, Set, and Teka, who make a break for it after him. No, the other Anatons are too scared to leave. He leads them deeper into the complex and finds a power source close to the heart of the maze. But he needs a computer to interpret the machine and so blows his dog whistle to summon K9. When the robot dog emerges from the TARDIS, it encounters Solid, who immobilizes it and takes it away for examination. Back in the heart of the complex, the Nimon has now reached the power source room and starts manipulating the controls of the machine, which begins to cause the complex to glow with energy. It also enables a shimmering tunnel to appear, down which comes a travel globe that bears 2 more Nimon. They announce the other Nimon that the planet Krynot is dying and that all the Nimon must continue the great journey of life to Skonos. Once the Nimon stalk away the Doctor, the Doctor examines the globes and pronounces that they are traveling vessels that have journeyed down a tunnel set between 2 black holes. A mishap. The Doctor sends the globe down the tunnel with Romana in it, but before he can reverse this, Solid arrives and uses his staff to destroy the control panel. Solid then raises his staff at the Doctor, proclaiming, "You meddling fool! You shall die!" And the part 3. Part 4. Romana has arrived in the dying world of Krynot, where she encounters many Nimon who live as per their operation on Skonos. The equivalent of Solid is a broken old man named Sezon, who helped the Nimon establish themselves on his world and now knows they have destroyed it. He compares the Nimon to intergalactic locusts swarming between planets and draining them of energy. He also discovered that when Yesternight is integrated to the stuff that he was supplied with by the Nimon. It has the ability to stun them. He gives Romana an extra piece that he has, but is shortly afterward killed by a Nimon by helping her to escape. Set Solid unconscious, and the doctor then attempts to repair the transportation system. Just as he about to complete the repairs, two Nimons return to the power source room and restrain him. However, they finish his work by reversing the tunnel, which brings Romana back in the capsule she had been waiting in on Quinot. Romana tosses the Yesenite to Seth, who has now possession of Solid's staff, and uses it to stun two of the Nimons. Having managed to free himself from the Solid's laboratory, K9 arrives just in time to deal with the remaining one. Solid, having escaped from the power source room, has seen the multiple Nimons and his faith is badly damaged. He's shot down by Seth, but in his death, Tros manages to trigger a chain reaction, which will destroy the complex. The Doctor and his party make their way out, using K9 to work out a proper exit path through the labyrinth. They all escape and join up with the remaining members of the Scanlan Military Council, all of whom evacuate the main square as Nimon power complex explodes. Later in the TARDIS, the Doctor reflects on their adventure as they watch Seth and Deka pilot a spacecraft away from Skonos, having been granted their freedom. Elsewhere, Freenot is disintegrating, and it seems the Nimon threat is over. The Doctor begins to complete his repairs on the TARDIS console. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of the story, The Horns of Nimon. I will name some cast members. Doctor Who, the Fourth Doctor, is played by Tom Baker. Romana, the Second, is played by Lala Ward. Soldeed is played by Graham Prowden. Sorek is played by Michael Osborne. Pilot is played by Bob Hornery. Co-pilot is played by Malcolm Terrace. Nimons are played by Robin Sheringham, Bob Appleby, Trevor St. John Hacker. Tika is played by Janet Ellis. Seth is played by Simon Gibbs Kent. The voice of K9 is David Brearley. The voice of Nimon is voiced by Clifford Norgate. And Cezanne is played by John Bailey. Some world building and cricket is after spinning the TARDIS to kick an asteroid out of gravity whirlpool. Doctor mentions that he would have been a great slow bowler. Somewhat ironically, his next incarnation would indeed be an expert at cricket. And actually, you can see that very clearly in two-part story. What's called? It's called. Black Orchid. Yes, Black Orchid. Two-parter, Black Orchid. With the companions, Tiffany Ovanka and Edric and Isa. Second thing, Worldbuilding Doctor is the Doctor says, "We're up a gum tree without a pedal." Worldbuilding minerals, the entities bring him into sight as an offering for the Nimon. Worldbuilding planets, Scotland was once home to an empire of over 100 star systems. But it fell to civil war. The empire still includes Quinot, which has been invaded and devastated by the Nimon as Ennet. Placed from the real world, the Doctor quotes Hamlet in saying, "Oh, my prophetic soul." Another thing in world-building TARDIS is that the TARDIS defense shields can extend outside the ship, maintaining an atmosphere. In addition, the TARDIS graphitic anomalizer could generate a localized field or artificial gravity around the outside of the TARDIS. good to yeah, good to notice this. Technology. Romana has built her own sonic screwdriver. The doctor tries to swap his own for hers, but Romana catches him out. Some world-building transport technology. The Nimon the Nimon use a travel capsule similar to a transmit to travel via a black hole. And the world building in weapons is that the Doctor states that everywhere he goes, he has guns, phasers, and blasters pointed at him. Phasers are the main personal weapon in Star Trek, you all know, and blasters are the main handheld weapon in Star Wars. Some story notes. This story had the working title Horns of Nimon, minus the title Horns of Nimon, minus the Horns of Nimon. Second thing is that the story is based on the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. Several names in the story are anagrams or near anagrams of names from the myth. Thus, Athens becomes Anet, Knossos becomes Skarnos, Theseus becomes Set, Minos becomes Nimens, and Corinth becomes Krinos. The power complex analogous to the labyrinth, and Nimon to the Minotaur. Sezon is a reference to Moses. The time rotor in the Doctor Stardust is removed. First and only time this has occurred. Another thing is that the line, quote, I'm glad I reminded them to paint their ship white. Last time anything like this happened, completely forgot. Cost quite a hoo-ha, end quote. Is another reference to Greek mythology, specifically when Theseus forgot to paint his flag white, causing his father Aegus, who had an agreement with Theseus to paint his flag white if he came back alive, to jump off the palace in despair. Another thing note is that one, Radio Times credits Clifford Norgate as a voice of the Nimon for parts 1 and 2, and as the voice of the Nimons for part 3 and 4. On screen credits read a voice of Nimon for part 1 to 3, and voice of the Nimons for part 4. Another note is that a black and white head and shoulders published thought of Lala Ward as Romana from Destiny of Daleks accompanies the Radio Times program listing for part 2. The accompanying caption of which also mentioned Ward's appearance on the Trion's phone in program Multicolored Shop that very same morning. Doctor Who's friend Romana Lala Ward has another date in space at 50, but you can talk to her this morning in Multicolored Shop 9:30. That is the original Polish text. Another thing is that the two Nimons who arrive on Skanos in the transmit capsule in part 3 did not originally have dialogue, but this was changed on recording. Because there was a late decision, Bob Appleby and Trevor St. John Hacker were uncredited both on screen and in Radio Times for part 3. Also, lead Nimon actor Robin Sheringham was credited on screen for part 3, but not in the Radio Times. Omission of the aforementioned actors from the Radio Times program listing was due to a lack of space this issue, as Graham Williams was informed by the publishers. Another thing is that this serial was supposed to have been followed by one more, Shada, but due to a strike, production of Shada was abandoned, making the Horse of Nimon a premature season finale. As such, it marked the end of several eras. First, this is the final serial produced by Graham Williams, a script edited by Douglas Adams. Second, this is the final story in which David Brearley voices K9. Third is that it featured the final use of the original 1963 arrangement of the Doctor Who team from the 1967 remix by Delia Derbyshire, as well as the less use of the diamond-shaped series logo. until the Star Beast in 2023. And quotes the tunnel end quotes opening sequence by Bernard Lodge, which had been placed with some modifications since Time Warrior. The opening credits image of Tom Baker, now close to 6 years old, is also retired. A fourth thing is that it is also the last story to be scored by composer Dudley Simpson. And a fifth thing in the marketing of the end of several eras is that further this story marked the final appearance of Tom Baker wearing his quote original trademark scarf and coat before they were replaced in the next story by their burgundy counterparts. Okay. Another story note is that besides the incomplete Shara, this is less story of the original series that wasn't produced by John Nathan Turner. Another note is that both the pilot and co-pilot were unnamed on screen, but were given the names Scott and Sarder, respectively, by Terrence Dicks for his novelization of the story. It was not derived from any information given in the televised version. Graham Williams disliked the story, thinking it wasn't strong enough. It was made because there were no other scripts available. It was placed in the season 5th slot in the hope that it would quickly be forgotten once Shada began transmission. Unfortunately, this backfired when Shada had to be abandoned, meaning Nimon ended up as the season finale. It was a weak script and a weak program, hence why we buried it at number 5. Another thing is that the Nimon wore 10-inch platform heels to give the impression of height. Another thing is that Solid begins laughing hysterically during his death scene, while yelling, "You are all doomed! All doomed!" The line was script, but the laughter was nearly literal corpsing. Crowden had thought it was a camera rehearsal, but the take got used anyway, partly due to a lack of time, because the doctor felt that it was still in character. Another thing is that Mockentaires ad-libbed the line "Weaklings come." Tom Baker ad-libbed the scene where the doctor gives canine mouth-to-mouth. Another thing is that the vacuum-formed cryogenic pods using in the Ark in space show up again. Next thing is that during the production of Leisure Hive, incoming producer John Nathan Turner asked Peter Howell and Paddy Kingsland to do incidental music demos of a scene at the beginning of part 2 of The Horns of Nimon. Only Howell's demos are known to survive and are included on the DVD as an extra, but were also released individually as part of Doctor Who at the BBC Radiophonic Workshop Volume 2, New Beginnings, 1970-1980. Another thing is that Alala Ward worked with costume designer June Hudson on an outfit emphasized by a red riding coat, in reference to color which was set to traditionally erase bulls. Another thing is that Richard Vernon and John Wells were considered for C-Zone. Next thing is that Power Complex was originally known as the Complexity. And last story note, the Sconians were initially referred to as Sconians. Okay. Last thing, continuity. Doctor Who universe, multiverse. Stories and episodes are to some extent related to each other, are referencing to each other, linked to each other, are from influence to each other. And every time I watch and rewatch stories and episodes of Doctor Who, I explore new things and new references and new things, links and relations to different stories. So every time I rewatch episode, it gives new insights, actually. And by the way, new enthusiasm to watch again and again episodes and stories of Doctor Who. Yeah, it's full cycle. Okay, I have 3 points. First one, the Nimon appear again in the audio story Seasons of Fear, in the comic Space in Dimension, Relative and Time, and in prose The Maze of Doom. Second thing, the Minotaur is a distant cousin of the Nimon. There's a link to the TV story The Cut Complex. That is with the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, and the companions Amy and Rory. And the third thing is that the third Doctor, John Pertwee, had earlier acted like a toreador to distract a Minotaur with a red cloth in Atlantis. We see that in TV story The Time Monster. And that's, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story, TV story, The Horse of Nimon. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Commercial time. Sci-fi and fantasy fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music, and sport. Random, because we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we will broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also, because we have no guests or different guests. Depends on what to join me in a live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we will look what is possible. So you are invited, and also feel free to invite me for your channel, for your live stream panel. I will gladly want to contribute to your channel. So same in summary. You are invited, and feel free to invite me. Yes. Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel, tag Doctor Who. You find me very quick on this board. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun and enjoy your day. Your host, Enigmatic Joker, that's me. I'm looking forward to see you. See you. Bye bye.